round. Technically, this is round 3. Easy. Wow, that light back there is kind of bright, huh? Oh well. That's what it looks like when my shades are just going, ah, and they're blinded by the light, wrapped up like a... We should do sort of like shout. Dude, I just came up with a whole segment called shower songs. Tori, what do you think? 1 to 10. Don't even think. Just type a number. We'll call it shower songs. We'll turn on shower music. You got to turn on your shower. For real, you got to turn on your shower. It's going to get all smoky. And then everybody sings one song. Oh, shit, 9's pretty good. Like, literally, there's only one slot after 9. Like, fuck, I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you gave it a 9, not 10 in case it's weird. This whole thing got weird just now. And then it wasn't. You could decide to make things weird, and then you can decide to make them not weird. That's basically my life in a nutshell. I think 9 out of 10 is a good place to start. So maybe we'll even do it with Sanji. Thank you for the reminder, Tommy. Thank you for inviting some fans. Exactly. Saying something is weird makes it weird. What's up, Tommy Tom? All right, Pete, focus. You got about 5 things to do right now, and you need to do them in a particular order. And you need to talk yourself through them, because if you don't, you're going to forget them. So number 1, you need to ref up Mod Ref Central. People are like, what is he talking about? Temporarily, okay? Temporarily. Tom, we're going to bring you on in just a sec. Thanks, brother. Appreciate. Kuja Moon's like, is this going to get weird again? She's what's up, Wu-Tang? I heard you wanted to put on the ref hat. You down? I bet you look pretty good in a little ref hat, maybe backwards. Yeah. Boom. Done. Can you have 2 refs? Well, we're either going to break the internet, or the answer is yes. And by the way, you 2 refs don't fight with each other. Don't make it like a territory thing. Like, hey, I can handle offsides. You guys wouldn't fight. I'm just trying to make it weird. Kuja's like, you don't have to try very hard, bro. What's up, T? God, it's like we needed one more T in here, man. Tom Syco. What's up, dude?
Yo, it worked first time. We are on a roll. Oh man, how you?
Look, dude, you're like a talk show host. Look at the shit you've got going in the background, man.
Dude, I'm a nerd, man. I've collected this over the years. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. I just get stuff.
That's our fucking thing. That's our entire fucking theme from day one. It's the best theme in the world, and we could share it. By the way, we won't fight as long as the refs fight. We won't fight. Is that Big Ben? What is that?
It is Big Ben. Yeah, this is the London skyline. So it's just wallpaper, but yeah, it's like Big Ben, the House of Parliament out the back. It looks kind of cool. I got the little salt lamp going. Get some orange rays. You know, it's all about the visuals. You know, but
it's fucking cool, man. And it's very it's very unique. Like it's and I like the black and white.
Yeah, I tried to keep it like. I thought it goes with the piano a little bit as well.
It totally ties in with the piano, dude.
That's it, man. That's it. Gotta say unique.
And what's this lamp? Is it like a lava lamp?
It's a salt lamp. Yeah, Himalayan.
Oh yeah. Salt lamps. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like if you lick it, it genuinely tastes of salt. It's
it's not nice. Telling me I was salty on the last stream, and I kind of was a little bit. Yeah. I was having some issues with a breakup that I was having with my hair person. As you can probably tell, it's like, we were wondering, like, if everything's okay, if you have been getting out of the house. I
You
don't
have
know. What is it like you're in London? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm like just east of London. Yeah. So pretty close.
So are
But
you able to get a haircut right now?
dude, I got my first haircut and it's trash. Have you seen this?
Dude,
First haircut in 7 months, like last week.
dude, I'd
So,
take a trash haircut over this crazy shit any day right now. I will go
mate,
to London and I will be like, yo, Tom. I'll be like,
I'll cut your hair. It'll
Jesus.
be awful, but I'd cut it for you. Don't worry, man.
Be like,
Mate,
yo, dude, where's your?
you, you have luscious locks. I don't know what you're saying. You have luscious locks on your head.
Is there a thing going on right now? Like, are we like, are we
I
like,
think
are
we're
we
yeah,
vibing a little bit?
I think we're guys. You're seeing this. You're seeing this. This is happening
You
right now.
could. This is totally happening in real time.
You're seeing it
We're
live,
just
baby.
exploring it. We're just exploring it. It's not getting weird. If we don't say it's weird,
Exactly.
Monica's like, this is fucking hilarious. Like, I think they're both exploring right now.
Monica's loving it.
People always talk about this. Let's get completely off topic right up front.
Yo,
Like,
Ash is in
people
the
are always
building.
talking about, like, I think females are supposedly more comfortable with like exploring, and I think guys should be more comfortable with exploring.
I mean, I disagree personally. I mean, no, I think it should be a thing. Definitely. I mean, why shouldn't it be? But yeah, me personally, I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could.
Tom's like, he's like, dude. I mean, I said,
I'm like,
nice hair.
Pete, stop, dude.
Don't drag me into some kind of conversation I'm not ready to have right.
But hey, I'm all for it, mate.
No, trust
All
me.
for it.
Most of what I'm talking about, it has no point to it. By the way, I'm
Ah,
just
mate,
like
that's
ripping
my
and
life.
bullshitting about. Yeah.
That's me, man.
So
I love that.
I'm just.
We're gonna vibe.
Yeah, but it was just funny. You're like luscious locks. I'm like, wow, that could be like my handle now.
Could be, man. You could brand that. You could brand it, make some
Luscious
merchandise.
locks.
That would sell like hotcakes. Imagine. Oh, I mean, I'd buy your merch.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever bought a hot cake before?
Nope, I don't even know what they are. But I just
And yet people always compare, like, it's
My
going to
mind
sell
just
like
got blown.
hotcakes. It's like, I haven't bought a hotcake in years.
That's so true. Maybe it's like was it oxymoron? Like it genuinely means it's not gonna sell. There's like
Not
double
gonna sell.
meanings.
It's totally, we're full of double meanings today for sure.
Crazy times, mad things, mad.
Tom's like,
things.
God, this is the fucking weirdest interview I've ever had. I thought it was going to be like 100% music. And Tori was like, she emailed me right beforehand and she goes, don't talk about music at all the whole time. It was like a dare. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she goes, just see if it works. And I'm like, I don't think that'll work.
I think it's going great. Yeah, man. We're 8 minutes in already and we haven't even talked about music, which is, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, like, what we'll do is let's just leave the piano there as a sort of like subtext. Like, oh, interesting. So why is there a piano there? Does he even?
It's just for like visuals. Yeah, I don't even know where the on button is.
It's just for elegance. It's just like, oh, nice apartment. Oh, you got a little piano here. Do you play it now?
Conversation starter. Yeah, that's it.
It's a conversation starter, and it worked pretty nicely.
Exactly. We segued right in, you matched it to the back end, the black and white. Beautiful.
I would totally do it. Except that I feel like it would be a bummer to not be able to talk to you about music. So I'm going to send 2 parallel universes out right now. One where we don't talk about music at all, which is fine. And that'll be fun. And people will be like, they literally didn't talk about music the whole time. From like 6 minutes in, they just decided. And then in the alternate universe, we'll go ahead and talk about some music for a little bit.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Let me catch up a little bit. This is me like learning what the fuck. How long have you been streaming?
3 years.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
5 like days ago.
I mean, I don't know about that. I still don't know what I'm doing, honestly, but yeah, 3 years. It's cool. You get used to the chat and everything.
Yeah. So Donnie, never heard of you before, dude. I'm just kidding, Donnie. Good to see you, man. Donnie's always popping in, dude. He does that. He's just such a like good like. He's one of those people that when you're new, like we are still, it's like, oh, Donnie's in the room. It's gonna be just fine. Like everything's gonna go just fine because he's sort of like he always finds those little pockets of like funny shit to say and like he knows everybody. Yeah. Chris Bean, good to see you again, dude. Thank you for popping in again.
What's up, Chris?
Fall Guy, yeah, man. Detective Prawn.
She's amazing.
Really?
So is Monica.
Right on. So you gotta have to like introduce me to some of your new fans. Monica, yo. So for those of you that don't necessarily know what the hell this is right now, LiveonLive is a we do streams sort of about music. What's up, Monica? Um,
Woo!
and Detective Prawn, nice to meet you formally. Um, Donnie's like, yeah, dude, shit's gonna get weird, man.
Getting
That'll
weird,
be the
man.
subtext.
Yeah,
Let's hit the weird button like as many times as possible.
makes it.
So what we do is we generally, today is an exception, we won't be talking about music at all, but normally we talk about music with either artists that are streaming or different people that are involved with streaming and other sort of virtual or remote things that musicians are doing right now to do their shit. I mean, we're in a different universe right now.
100%.
So part of what we try and do is put kind of almost not a positive spin on it exactly, but look at what people are doing that's moving people forward and whatever they're trying to accomplish musically. So it's like, hey, this is working. Everybody check this out kind of stuff.
That's cool.
And we do that with streamers. I saw you were on. Thank you so much for hanging with us
Of course.
earlier. Man, he's a beast.
He is a legend. So much energy. I can't do that like him.
Really?
He is incredible. He is incredible.
He's a super cool dude. So let's go back to like 3 years, man. What was it like when you were first doing this streaming thing, and like what brought you into it, and what did it feel like when you were first starting?
I mean, I always have played, music pretty much, but I had this obsession of wanting to make YouTube videos and do that kind of thing. So,
Yep.
but I never had the guts. I actually have like really low confidence when it comes to putting music out there, right? But I started doing these YouTube videos. They started doing, quite well. My channel was growing. And then I remembered this website, YouNow, from years ago. I used to play around with it with my friends back when I was at university years ago. And and I thought I'd revisit it. Went live. Some people watched. Went live again. And I just kept going live. And I'm still going
You're
live.
kind of hooked.
Yeah, man.
So the initial thing was you sort of tasted the YouTube thing. You were liking that. Why didn't you just stick to YouTube? Why did you even try YouNow in the first place, or streaming in the first place, versus just like, let me just do my YouTube shit?
I don't even know. I think maybe just curiosity. Maybe just I just wanted to try it out, I guess. I think once I started streaming, I definitely enjoy the instant feedback you get. Like YouTube's cool and everything, but yeah, it's comments. You upload something that you've already done, recorded one time, and then it's out. Whereas now you get instant feedback. You make friends, like Monica, for example. I've known her pretty much 3 years, and it's just nice. You get that interaction.
Monica's getting nostalgic, man. She's like, wow, 3 years ago. Like, wow.
She's feeling
I can't
old
believe
now.
how much.
But yeah, man, it's something that hooks you, I guess. It's like in a good way. And it also helped me personally, like, improve musically, I think. I don't think I'm that good of a singer, but doing it like most days keeps me like, practicing and trying to get better. So that's always a good thing.
Thomas, good to see you, man. Thank you for bringing your fans. Monica's like, don't talk to me about 3 years ago. Too much.
She can't
That's
believe.
a long time. Like, everyone think
man.
about 3 years ago. That's a long fucking time.
It is. It is. It really is.
It really is a long time. Like, it's...
And time's like so different. I mean, so how long have you been on the platform? Not long,
5
right?
months, bro. We don't know what the fuck this is. Again, our origin story is really
please.
that so I'm a journalist, and I was writing and continue to write now for some music industry newspapers. And when March hit, it was like all the shit we had planned for the next couple months was like, well, none of that's even relevant now. And I just realized, okay, I need to start completely changing the ship and really looking into like live streaming. To me was like just lights going off. Like that's where things are going. That's where things are going. And whether it's called that in a couple years or it's called something else, like this different form of communication and the different things that are going to sprout from it, I think is the future. And you either wait for that future and then go, oh, damn, or you lean into it and try and discover what you can contribute or what you can learn from it. So I started writing a lot about it. And then I ended up interviewing Emma McGann, and I ended up discovering a couple of different platforms that were out there. And Tori and I, who have known each other for a number of years, decided to just do this just to know what it is. Like,
That's
how can I
cool.
write about something if I don't actually know what it feels like to hit record or hit play or whatever, and just do this
Yeah,
and learn from people who've been doing it and that are doing it every day. And then one thing led to
that's
another, and
awesome.
it's kind of like what you said. You just you just keep doing it, and
That's
then
it.
like you just
Comes
keep
your
doing
routine.
it
That's really cool. Yeah.
completely.
Yeah, Tori
Yeah.
was saying about how you write musicregistry.com, right? Is the place.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean the real sort of animal that I've created in the last 5 months is called the Virtual and Remote Guide, and it's basically like you've got these different phases of the music industry. You've got A&R, you've got film and TV music, you've got publishing, the touring,
Hmm.
and there's not really one that's dedicated to whatever it is that I'm trying to write about. I don't even have a way to describe it yet. So I just call it the Virtual and Remote Guide because it's the punchiest way I could describe it for the moment.
I like it.
So anyway, one of the things that I'm hoping to do from these interviews, and we're at the tail end of them, we've
Hmm.
done, I think we're going to do about 15 of them, is try and repurpose these into sort of things that we can share with the industry and that we can tell people about what you guys are doing.
That's
So that should
awesome.
be cool.
That would be really cool.
Let's retire now. Monica. Oh, I see. Got it. I can't even read the stream yet, bro. Like, that's where I am. We're like babies. We're like infants
It
where
takes
like
time.
we think we can walk, but it's only us not falling down.
Yo,
Right?
true.
Where you're like, and you're like, fuck, I got this shit. And then they're like, no, you don't.
They
And
just
then it's like,
touch you once and
boom.
you're on your ass.
And then I'm
No,
like,
yeah.
ah, ha, ha.
Honestly, I think yeah, just on that, it's definitely good that what you're doing. I mean, more eyes on in this industry is definitely like positive.
Yeah.
I I think for musicians, like live streaming in general, just from a personal perspective,
Yep.
um, music is more. It's not like the most popular genre of streaming. You know, I think you've probably seen that. I think video games and just like personalities definitely takes like the top tier. But for music, it's definitely like a place where musicians can actually share stuff, and it's really rewarding for the musician as well. It's not like something that I feel like there's a difference between say personalities. I feel like there's maybe like a goal to whatever it is, monetary or whether it's like popularity, whereas with musicians it's more sharing your kind of passion, you know.
Hmm.
So that's how I see it. I mean, I stream purely for the enjoyment because I just enjoy playing music, you know. um
Right.
so I don't really care how many people watch. Obviously it's really cool if there's more, but it's just nice to be able to have a platform to do that. So definitely.
Weird. Well, thank you for inviting some friends and for giving us some props here. Appreciate it. Wu Tang. Thank you,
What's
thank you,
up,
thank you,
Mike?
thank you.
Weirdism is
Thank you guys.
his name's Mike. He is also a legend, let me tell you.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Absolute legend.
Gotcha. Thank you, Prawn. Um, it's interesting what you were saying. Like, uh, it reminds me of comedians in a way. Like, if I watch Joe Rogan,
Mm,
if I watch the Joe Rogan podcast, part of what I enjoy is listening to him talk to other comedians or listening to him talk to other fighters, right?
yeah.
Even though I'm not a comedian or a fighter, but it's interesting and there's this bond, right? So I feel like maybe I've taken that for granted, and you're mentioning something that I haven't even really noticed, which is musicians get along with other musicians,
Mm,
these other groups do, and there's this natural sort of like, no way, that's super cool. Like there's
yeah,
this kind
yeah.
of camaraderie that's built into being a musician because you literally most of what you do you're playing with somebody else a lot. So there's this sort of natural DNA for it. So I feel like for what it's worth, our first two streams were on Twitch, and you
Mm,
feel like you're on the moon. Like you literally feel like someone dropped you on the moon,
yeah.
and you're like, "Fuck!" Like
Hmm.
I don't know where anybody is, and like you're trying to shoot up a flare, try to do stuff, and it's a little bit it's more sophisticated in certain ways, but you
Yeah.
feel all alone. Whereas when you go onto YouNow, like immediately there's like, oh, this person's doing this, and you can just pop in, and it's much more,
User
it's a
friendly.
lot of the things that you just talked about. It's a little more organic. It's a little more I think it allows for that sort of natural musician to musician thing to happen more. Do you think that's
Yeah,
true?
I definitely agree. I actually tried out Twitch once for about a month. I tried to do both, YouNow
Yeah.
and it's. I mean, I was quite lucky because I had some people who already followed me here. They came and watched me on there, so I had a few people already. But if I
Yep.
didn't have them, I mean, yeah, I'd be sitting there on my own for hours, and it is like an ocean. I feel like that platform is so saturated
Mm,
with people, which is great. But if you want to start out and get discovered, it's like you have to be like extremely unique to have
mm,
any chance of like one person even staying for more than a minute. So
right.
um, yeah, I definitely. This is more of like a just easily navigable. Is that a word? You know what I mean? Navigation
Sure.
on the site. It's a word now. Um, to just it's user friendly and it's got that like tight knit. I mean, just looking on the trending list now, I pretty much know everyone by like on like a friend level on that list.
Totally.
So yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think that's a very word smells like
Shut up,
it's
Mike.
navigable. Boom!
It's a word
Crush.
now.
It's a word now. It's a word now.
We do what we want,
That was
mate.
that was a quote, dude,
You
from
know.
Tom. By the way, how do you pronounce your last name on the
It's Sicko, but it looks like
Psycho?
Psycho. Everyone
It
says
does look
Psycho.
like Psycho.
Yeah. So pretty much, long story short, my surname is Sycamore, like the tree. So in my old job, everyone used to call me Sicko. It's just my nickname. I made this account, Tom Syco, just kind of stuck. But yeah,
Sicko.
and that's how it's spelled, SYC, etc., etc. So
Right.
yeah, but I accept both. Who cares?
I like it. Thank
Oh,
you,
Danny's in the house.
Danny.
Danny,
Danny.
you have to refer to Danny as Sweet Cheeks. All right, just I'm not
Ooh.
going to give you context, but you just got that's what
Ooh.
you'll call her.
I think we just turned on the weird again. What's up,
Hmm.
sweet cheeks?
We back, we back.
We back. We back.
Everyone
Sweet
hashtag
cheeks.
Sweet Cheeks.
Oh my God. I love it when I'm part of the joke, but I'm not in on the joke. People are like, hey, tell Pete to call Danny Sweet Cheeks. Like, okay, dude, I'll fucking do it.
Just go with the
I
wave.
don't.
I love it.
Yeah, Wu Tang's like, no, we never turned off weird. It's just been sort of like,
Always, always.
never turned the weird off. Sort of like Austin.
Hell yeah. Keep it weird, keep it funky.
Weirdism. We're pro weirdism. Yeah, no, I think that, you know, LA, have you been to LA? Thank you,
Hey,
Danny.
Danny.
Danny's like, appreciate that little nickname you gave me, bro.
She likes that.
There is, in LA, there's this kind of like competitive slash opportunistic environment, right? Just like for acting and musicians and blah blah blah, and that's there, but there's also this sort of energy of like people helping each other out, people working on each other's records, people, and both happen. But I feel like on YouNow, it's much more like you said, you get to know everybody. Imagine trying to know everybody on Twitch on a first name basis. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, there's just no
Yeah,
way. So they're really different, way different experiences. And
100%.
yeah, so when you were kind of popping on here originally and sort of looking at where you are now. So one of the things that I thought was interesting about what Sam was talking about was this sort of iterative way that he's like, he'll try something and then it'll be like, okay, that works better. Were there moments during that process where you either realize like, I thought that would work, that's not fucking working, or oh shit, that's crazy, I didn't even think of that, but like all of a sudden that's my thing now?
Uh, yeah, I guess in a way, like I started off literally in my bedroom with just like a guitar and a microphone. I would just sing songs and that was it. And
Yeah.
over the time, I've added extra bits. Like I have a loop pedal under here. I tried to start freestyle rapping, just like doing like more things to kind of keep it interesting. Got a piano. So yeah, I always feel like I have this. I want to keep developing it. I don't want things to get kind of boring or stale.
Right.
So, but yeah, you definitely do. I mean, I feel like with music, it's hard to try stuff out. As in, you sing, you do music. There's not really much you can go wrong with unless you're doing songs people don't like or whatever. But I feel like if you're more of a personality where you have content, you know, game shows or this or that, I think there's maybe more relevant. But for music, I think it's more kind of, keep adding stuff, but stick to your roots of music. That's kind of what I want to do, personally.
Donna, you liking those F and S bombs? I was about to say you liking that F and S, and I'm like, that's weird again. We did it again. Dude, it's woven into the entire...
Yo, I haven't, do you know, I swear like so badly. And I said to Tori, we did a little sound check stream before this, and I was like, yo, can I swear?
Dude.
She was like, fuck yeah.
Dude,
like,
Donnie, don't bring baby Jesus into this. This gets fucking weird, dude. Why are you bringing...
Donnie's
it's not that
right
baby Jesus is weird. It's Donnie bringing baby Jesus into this. And it's Granny. It's your fictitious Granny talking about baby Jesus during our fucking stream. Sorry.
He loves that. You got to keep it biblical, you know? Oh, man.
That's your second great quote of the day.
Got to keep
You've
it biblical.
got to keep it biblical.
It's just going to be in the article.
Tom
I'm going to be like, oh,
yeah.
man. What the hell?
Yeah, for your section, it's just going to be like random quotes. Like, I don't even know what
out of
that
context
means.
Quotes.
Out of context quotes. That would be a great stream.
Just quickly, sorry, I was going to say what Danny said as well. Don't lose yourself. I think that's the number one thing for me personally.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Now I understand his comment. You translated his comment well, because I read it and I'm like, I don't know what that means. On to the next thing. And you're like, no, that what this meant was like, stay to your roots, stay on the things that you do.
I mean, I've seen people like, you know, just change on here, or, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with change, but sometimes I feel like people maybe forget what they're doing or what they wanted to do originally. And I think goals can change and stuff, that's fine. But I think if you forget like where you came from, where you sort of your places, then I feel like you kind of lose it, and people lose interest, or they kind of just, they liked you for you, and if you change, then they might not like you as much. So
again, maybe to put it in more of context, and if this is easy to answer, great. If it's not, that's totally fine too. But like, was there a moment, you know, you can do a number of different things. You can do the freestyling, you can do the piano, you can do the guitar, you could do covers, you could do originals. Although it seems like you've mentioned you lean more towards covers. Cool. Like, I guess what I'm trying to get at is like, when we're all, any of us that are doing streaming or even watching a streamer do this, it's like there's a process of finding your pocket, right? There's a process of like, oh, there it is. What is that process like for someone? And was there a moment where you're like, I think piano's kind of main, or maybe guitar is mainly, was there a moment where you're like, I think I'm going to sit here for a second?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a really good question, because I feel like where at the start it was just singing and playing guitar, that was it. So whereas when I tried to add more things, that was cool and everything, but like I would do, say, one stream I would do freestyle rapping over like instrumentals, and then the next stream I'd do singing, and somebody might have come in to my stream for the first time when I was rapping and acting like an idiot. I wear like sunglasses and shit, and everyone's like, yo, this guy, I mean, I'm not that good at rapping, I'm not like freaking Eminem, but you know, they like enjoyed it, and then they come in and I'm singing love songs, and then it's a bit like, oh wait, are you the same guy? So then maybe there you might like divide an audience. So that's one downside of it, I'd say. But
P-Style, Dr. Sauce, man. He's like, what?
Yo, this guy, man, Doc Sauce. He is, can I just say, he's the biggest troll. I love him, though. But he came in my stream like a couple of years back, trolling me. This is a lesson on how to deal with trolls, okay? Trolling me, try to just be, you know, an absolute douchebag. And then, we converted him into a fan, man. Now he loves me, man. Now I'm literally his father. He is my child. He loves me. You know, we have a bond like no other. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. There you go.
I think we all need a moment.
Everyone bow your heads.
Okay. Troll conversion. Let's talk troll conversion for a second now.
Oh, yeah.
It hasn't really. I mean, I don't know if you've had any experiences with it or whatever, but like it hasn't really been a big thing for us, and I feel like YouNow's a pretty friendly place overall. So
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare to be honest. For me,
yeah,
anyway. Like, I do know there's some people that get it worse, but yeah, it's pretty rare. YouNow is pretty nice in general, and most people have like a community of people watching them. So if someone is maybe just being distasteful, which happens sometimes, like
right.
people have your back. Um, so yeah, I don't really experience trolling.
Friendly trolls. Like I think you're the only person that I've met that has friendly trolls.
Oh, I love them. I see.
You
I
have these like
enjoy.
trolls that are like, "What's up? Ah, but
Yeah,
hi, we're cool, we're cool,
I enjoy
that's
hate.
cool." That's my
Like,
troll voice.
that's
Troll
perfect
conversion,
troll
the
voice.
only metric that matters, dude. Think about that for a second.
It is.
Like,
If you really
this
think
whole
about it.
phrase, like haters are gonna hate, not with Tom Syco. Haters are gonna flip. They're gonna flip on you, dude.
But yeah, I definitely think it's how you react. Like, if
Yeah.
someone, like, some people would just love to, try and get reaction.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
yeah,
teasing you
yeah,
with that stick, so they want you to
yeah,
say
yeah.
something or flip out. Like, you just got to embrace it and go with the joke, and then they're like, oh, it's like bullies at school. I'm not calling trolls bullies because like it ain't that deep. And I definitely
Right.
think it's how you personally feel. I feel like anyone could say literally anything to me, and it's like whatever. I don't really care. So it's definitely like just a mindset thing, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I gotta say on
Dude,
that.
do you want to play some music? I know probably a lot of the people in the room right now are fans of yours. They probably heard a lot of your music in the past, but we also have some people in here that might be new to your shit. So like, do you want to kick
I
off a
mean,
little
I
bit
could
of
sing.
music?
Yeah, I could sing a
Let's
song.
do
I could
let's
sing a
do
song.
some tunes, man.
All right, mate. No worries. No worries. This is I'll start on the piano. Just
Cool.
a precursor. I actually didn't. I played piano from like 11, but I stopped when I was about 15, and I only picked up again like this year. So that's not like a precursor of if I suck or anything, but yeah, just like a back end
Little
of
brief history of
yeah,
Tom's piano voyage.
Danny knows I love excuses too, so whatever. All right,
Icy, thank you for bringing those fans over. Appreciate. Excuses.
yeah,
Danny's like, shh.
What up, Icy? All right, here we go. So I learned this song. It's called "Die Alone." It's by Phineas, and I love it. I'm actually addicted to this song. Okay. Let's see here. You hear the piano?
I can, yeah.
Sick. I wasn't looking for love, but you found me. You found me. Just as the smoke filled the room in the valley, you asked me, do you wanna die alone? Watch it all burn down together. I said I'd rather try to hold onto you forever. 'Cause I'd always love you, and I'm not letting go. If the sky darkens above you, I'll stay by your side in the afterglow. This was the place I grew up. Now it's ashes to ashes. Memories filling my cup. It comes in flashes when it passes, and I see your eyes. I know there's nothing I'd rather do, but I think I'd rather die alone forever. 'Cause I know I love you. In the sky If the sky darkens above you, I'll stay by your side in the afterglow. Ooh. 'Cause I know I love you, and I'm not letting go. If the sky darkens above you, I'll stay by your side in the afterglow. Ooh. I wasn't looking for you, but you found me. There you go.
Yeah, man. Beautiful.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I don't know if the audio sounds good or not.
Tom.
It's so like.
It does. It really does.
Oh, thanks. I messed up like 10 times.
And it's not an easy song for audio to sound good because it's a very transparent and intimate song, especially the way you're playing it. It's just you very kind of, your voice is very naked and your piano, it's like, it's all right there. So it sounds awesome, dude. It really sounds good.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks very much.
I mean, so look, I'd love to pivot a little bit. We got 25 minutes officially. I don't know how tight are you on time?
I'm good.
Oh, because it's late. No.
Nah, it's cool, man. I go
UK,
to bed late anyway.
No. I super appreciate your time, but like, let's talk about music for a little bit. Let's talk about like, and again, you know, I always say this as some sort of weird preface, and I don't think it's necessarily required, but I like to put it out there like, we're just exploring shit. We're trying to let people know what you're about and stuff like that. So if there's anything that's like if I'm getting too into something and you're like, I don't really necessarily need to get into that, just let me know. But like, as far as your music career, for lack of a better term, it's such an awful thing to even put those two words together because it's just so like, but like, where would you like, if all things worked the way you'd like them to, and maybe music isn't necessarily what you want to do as a career, but if you were to look at like the future of your music in the next couple of years, would you like to be, I don't know, would you like to be able to put your own music out? Would you like to be able to get signed? Like blah, blah, blah. Like what would be a cool way for you to use the kind of stuff you're doing right now?
Yeah, 100%. Listen, if I could quit my job tomorrow and do music as a career, I would do that. I wouldn't even think about it. That's like the ultimate dream, you know, like I would love that so much. I'm in the position where I feel like I can't do that and I can't ever do that only because I feel like I have low confidence when it comes to stuff like that. Like I'm not very good at like taking big leaps of faith, if you know what I mean. But in terms of like what I want to do and what I think is like realistic, I want to keep streaming because I love that. I've like dabbled with songwriting a bit. I've written a few songs over the last few years, which are, you know, pretty amateur and they're just on the bit of paper. They're not like produced or anything. But I want to release something at least. I want to have kind of a physical record of what I've done. Because obviously streaming's cool, but there's no actual, like once you finish, it's done. Do you know what I mean? There's no record except for like a few capture moments. So I would like to produce professionally like an actual album or like an EP or something like that. And I want to do it myself. So I'm in the process of like learning, you know, I'm using LiveonLive to produce, but it's, you know, I suck. So I'm on, you know, YouTube and trying to learn that side of things. So yeah, I'm trying to just like learn as I go. But
you have a Mac or PC?
PC. Yeah.
Cool.
So.
Does that song you just played, I know it's not your song, but does that song just, you know, as a arrangement, as a song, as a whatever, does that song kind of represent more or less where you would imagine your record might live in terms of style and sound and vibe and stuff like that, or is it could it be a lot of other places? Just to get a sense of
Uh,
like where it might.
yeah, it's a good question. I think, yeah, I naturally go to that sort of like love song kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like it's weird actually. If I write a song, I always come to this like sort of minor chords, sort of
Uh-huh.
sad, love,
Yeah,
like that
this
kind of stuff.
kind of, yeah, sure.
Yeah. But if I jump on to like Ableton, I'm on like the drum, like making drum beats, like hip hop type stuff. And when I do like
Sure.
rapping, I love hip hop and that kind of thing. So I don't even know what my genre is, but yeah, I
That's
think
totally fair.
it would probably be, yeah, that sort of like love song. I think it's,
Maybe as a performer versus like
yeah.
you might sit down on Ableton and do some really cool shit
Mm,
in hip hop or in EDM or whatever the hell it might be. But when you sit down and you're going to be
yeah.
Tom at a concert or on a stream that's musical, it might it's going to sound a degree or two
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
separated
Yeah.
from what you just did. Right. But one of the reasons I'm asking is like, um, is this your type of genre? I'm
Yeah.
not sure I understand the question. Is that
I
what
think she's saying what you're saying. Yeah. Like, is that the
is
genre you
that kind
probably
of
write?
like? Yeah, I guess that
Yeah.
was a much quicker way to ask the same fucking question. Just say, is this your genre, bro? And then keep going.
Love that.
Um, I mean, look, you know, I was thinking about this between the end of the last stream and this stream. So I'll share something with you that popped into my mind, and then maybe you could comment on it, and then
Yeah.
we'll go wherever you feel like you want to go with this. But like, there's different things happening on YouNow right now. There's Keith Peluso, right?
Yeah.
And I
He's
love
great.
what he's doing. And I love what he's about, and I love everything that's a result of what he's about and where it's going to go. And then there's Kim Maverick,
Hmm.
right? And I love everything that she's doing. And, you know, and there's lots of other things that I'm not even that privy to. But like when I think about what we can do, what LiveonLive can do uniquely, um, I think part of it is that I happen to have a background in the music industry, and I happen to have played a lot of instruments professionally, and I've like lived in the sort of exterior music industry.
Yeah.
And I feel like part of what we may be able to do, Tori and I, and sort of as a sort of secondary piece of this, not only can people learn like, oh, that's interesting about live streaming, that's interesting about this and that, but also like translating potential opportunities that might exist for streamers in the non-streamer world.
Yeah.
Because I'm much more familiar with that world. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm unfamiliar with this world. So I'm in a foreign country right now, and you
Mm.
guys have all been really cool. And then every once in a while, I'm like, oh, like,
Let
so
me tell you
where
about
I'm
home.
from, yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like, you know, I think if you did want, from a purely like musical standpoint, barring all the other stuff that you said that kind of, frankly, kind of the way you describe yourself puts you in a bit of a box. In
Yeah.
other words,
I
you're
think you're
like, oh,
completely
I
right.
can't do this. You define your terms
You're
in a
completely right.
particular way, and that's your choice. Like, I'm not trying to like put you on some sort of, but like that's what I'm hearing. And the only reason I bring that up is because, as I mean, everything that one says is subjective. So take this with a grain of salt. This is just one dude who's seen a lot of things in the music industry go left and right, poorly
Yeah.
and well. If you decided from a purely musical standpoint, based on that one song, even though it's not even your song, if you said, Pete, I'm willing to do this 100% and I will make this my career in music, do you think I have a shot? I'd be like, fuck yes.
Thanks, man. Thank you so
I'm
much.
not doing
And
that to be
I,
nice to you, bro. I'm not
no,
doing
I
that to
appreciate
be
it.
cool on this stream. I wouldn't say that to everybody, right?
Thank you, man.
But I'm
I
only saying that because I think it's an interesting part of the conversation insofar as you've got talent. The people on the stream know you have talent and love that. And we're talking about things that you want to do and would like to do. And yet you're saying like, I can't do those things.
Yeah. Do you know what it is? And I was gonna say, I really appreciate your time because, like, I mean, I didn't know your background until I was speaking to Tori recently, and like, I appreciate your time. Obviously, you come from the non-internet world, or in terms of streaming, So
Yeah.
and I mean, this is the thing, yeah. I would love to do music. I've never ever performed like not on the internet. Like I've never gone on a stage. I did once in a pub when I was like kind of drunk, but like it doesn't, you know what I mean? I've never like done a gig or
And
something
your
like that.
point is what? That therefore that somehow precludes you from being successful in the
I think it's
normal.
like a maybe like a mental thing. Maybe I'm just like not confident. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's a confidence thing though. And I always think to myself that like I'm not gonna, if I really did try, I wouldn't make it. And I know the whole thing of, you know,
Here's
if
the
you never
sad
try, you
part.
never know.
Here's the sad part. No, it's I think what's more true and to the point is that's like the old I think it's a Henry Ford quote. Somebody said, you know, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So
It's true, you
if
know.
you're out of the gate saying, I don't think I can do this, sadly,
You're not gonna.
you're right, right? So
Mm.
to a certain extent, it, I think part of what's going on is you've just determined for whatever reason that we don't have to, but like you're just like, oh, this probably won't happen for me,
Mm.
and or won't happen or whatever, and you have your own reasons for thinking that. But I guess what I'm saying is, from as one stranger slash friend, in other words, we're meeting today for the first time, but like I like what you're doing, and I'm coming from a place of like 100% support. I think that's bullshit. I think there's no reason why you can't do those things that you're telling yourself you can. It's your choice to tell yourself, I don't think I can do this.
Yeah,
And I'm
you're
not
so right.
saying change your mind. I'm saying I bet most people on this stream don't agree with you for what it's worth.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
if
they're
you're the
very
only one
supportive.
of the, 10 or 15 of us that think you can't do it, that's an interesting raise your hand right now, right? If you're on this stream, raise your hand or whatever. Say if what I'm saying is, and you can say like, Pete, you're over exaggerating or whatever, but like if you guys, thank you, like put a flower out if you guys
Yeah,
agree with what I just said.
I think. Yeah, no, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I think it's definitely, yeah, that attitude. Like, it's the wrong attitude I should have. Yo, that's mad love. I
Keep going, keep it going.
I don't know where
All
it stems from.
flowers.
I've never had confidence, but you know, I think okay, I'll tell you a really quick story.
Yeah.
I know we haven't got super long left, so I don't want to like
No,
drag
no,
it.
no,
But
no, we're good.
basically, um, I am the biggest hell. Yeah. So I was in Orlando last year, playlist, right? Which is like, I don't know if you heard of it. It's like a annual YouNow convention thing.
I've heard
And
of it, but yep.
it's awesome. I mean, COVID's kind of ruined it now, but yeah,
Right.
I met loads and loads of friends from YouNow in real life. You know, had a whole week together. It was great. And
Yep.
there's this guy called the Dapper Rapper. He doesn't stream on here anymore.
That guy's
But
fucking insane.
you know him, right, dude? Oh man, he's a good friend. Like I speak to him regularly, and
That's great.
he's blowing up now on
That makes
Twitch.
me
And
happy.
he's such a cool dude, and he is actually like he's a mad inspiration to me. And
Good. That's great.
when I was there, I was at this party,
Voice is
and
gone.
we were just sat in the garden for like half an hour, me and him just chatting, and it was like the most useful conversation I ever had from this whole live streaming the journey.
And
Like,
what happened during that conversation?
well, he basically was trying to convince me to like quit my job and do live streaming full time, etc., etc. And my answer to him was, I feel like the fact that my job and like my journey through life, it's always been just go to school, go to college, go to university, get a good career, do all that. That's always just been like the trajectory that I think I should do, and it's like the safe journey. But I've
Sure.
done that journey, and I'm on that journey, and I have like a decent job now. I'm doing a master's degree right now, and like, that's all happening, and I can go down that path, and I can live, a mediocre, comfortable life. That's great, but there's always that little feeling inside. I'm like, I really would love to just give it a go. And Dapper was like, dude, like he like quit his job and went for it, and he made
Yeah.
it like big time.
Yeah.
My only thing with him was, I said to him, like, yeah, that's cool and everything, but like, no offense, but like the job he had was, I think he worked in like a coffee shop. Like it was a pick up and drop job,
So your issue is, yeah, but you didn't sacrifice what you're asking me to sacrifice. That's
Right.
your point.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm too deep into what I'm doing in my job that it's
Uh-huh.
not something I could just quit and then come back to if stuff doesn't work out.
That's actually
Um,
true. That's
yeah,
actually true. I mean, the sacrifice is real. In other words, it's easy romantically to be like, you should just try it, but like,
Yeah.
It needs to be something that you know, that you're 100% committed to, because it's sort of like, you know, the burning the ships analogy, where like
Right.
somewhere back in Greek mythology or whatever it was, they got to the island that they were trying to conquer, and then the general said, "Ah, you see all the ships back there? I just lit them all on fire. So we're either going to die here or we're going to
Mm,
conquer this place."
so
Now,
accurate.
the problem with that is, if you're not ready to do battle, don't burn the ships. In other
Yeah.
words, mentally, you have to be at a point where you're ready to do that.
Mm.
But I mean, I think in a way you're both right. And my question for you would be, why would he have recommended you do that?
Well, that was my question to him because he was like, "Dude, I would never just say this to anyone, you know." He,
And let me ask you another question, okay? Do you trust Dapper Rapper's musical tastes?
I mean, yeah, dude, he's the reason I started to try and freestyle. Like, I used to
So
watch
if
him.
Dapper Rapper tells you, "Yo, dude, I think you could do this," right?
Yeah, I know, but it's a tough one. It is a tough one.
Yeah,
Like, it's a big risk, but on the flip side, my other thing is like it doesn't have to just be like all or nothing. I can do
correct.
both. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Gotcha.
It's kind of hard right now with the studying, which I'm due to finish 2021. So once that's all done, I feel like
Yep.
then I can just do my job, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, whatever. And then like all my spare time is music and all that stuff, weekends. Um yeah, it's just a tough balancing act, I guess.
It's all
So,
good. And
you know,
again, it's you know, different people have different like sensibilities to the conversation we're having, and I think you're navigating it the way you need to navigate it. So it's like I think you need to go with, you know, you need to go with what feels right in your own heart and
mm,
what you're interested in doing. The other thing that I'll mention as kind of an aspect of your music that I really like is, I feel like, I mean, I've listened to a lot of music. I was a journalist when I was out of college. I'm 44, and I was
wow,
out
man.
of, and
You
I
look good for
was,
44. Let me
and
tell you.
I'm only mentioning that because of what I'm about to say. Like, I was a journalist getting out of college at 22, 23. So I was covering like
Wow.
John Mayer's first concert, Jack Johnson's first concert, shit like that. I've
No
seen a
way.
lot of music. I've seen a lot of great albums not do anything. I've seen a lot of great records die on the fucking vine. I've seen a lot of mediocre artists shoot up the charts. I've seen a lot of things happen on the inside that
Yeah,
were interesting to me to watch. And
that's amazing.
um, I feel like what's cool, like I haven't quite heard the way you perform ever.
Really? That's
Yeah.
crazy to me because, like, I
So
don't.
check it out. So this is what I mean by that. Okay, I'm not trying to give you props now or
No,
make you
that's fine.
feel good, but like, you have this particular way of singing where you kind of sing under your breath in a way. You kind of, you don't belt, and you actually, there's a way that you sort of, a stylistic way that you sing, where you don't sort of like, there's ways of singing where you really hit the note and you really make it clear what the note is. And then there's ways where you're sort of speaking and singing at the same time.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of have this very like casual, like, I'm sort of like speaking to you, but I happen to be singing. And then when you go up into the hook, you start singing. And then you can hit some falsetto notes, and it's really beautiful. And it's very disarming.
Thanks, man.
It's very like, it brings you in, and it's a very unique sound. And the only reason that I just spent 2 or 3 minutes spelling that shit out for you, and again, this is more like some of the stuff that we do on the typical live on lives where we talk to people and stuff, is if you did a record of that,
Mm,
if you just made a record, EP, whatever the hell you want to call it, where you were doing what makes you unique as an artist, even if they were cover songs, that's totally fine.
yeah.
You could have a sort of a kind of music career that wouldn't necessarily have to compete with your quote day job, and you could
Mm,
kick these things out during live streams or at night with your Ableton setup or a Logic and Pro Tools setup or whatever.
yeah.
And it's literally you doing everything. So you could do them from 7 to 9 at night or whatever the case may be. Like, I guess what I'm saying is like that sound, that particular vibe that you have, I think you could do something with, and it's really what you do naturally. So I guess it's all to say, like, from what I'm listening and what I'm hearing, I think what you do artistically is valid and has legs to be able to have a sort of, maybe not, maybe you don't want to be, touring for 250 dates a year, but if you wanted to kick out songs and have a Spotify account and be able to have half your income from music and really get a lot of
That would be insane.
satisfaction, you could do it. And you could do it with that, not to put you in a box, but that style that you do naturally, that's probably why a lot of people dig you, is a style that I've never heard that way before.
Thank you so much. That's very inspiring. Yeah, I think I feel like really inspired suddenly.
Good. Yeah, I'm inspired because that's what I hear, So, I mean, look, if there's one thing maybe as a kind of like final component to this, or a sort of, to be continued part of the conversation, like it would be super rad. Do you have an easy way to record the things that you, like what you just did? Can you easily record it in Ableton yet, or not necessarily?
Yeah, I can. The only thing I have, the downside I have, which again, I think it's just my tech knowledge, is, so I tried to do a piano cover, and you can hear my fingers right through this mic, which is fine, whatever. But I'm really like a perfectionist. I think that's also why I haven't put stuff out. 'Cause I'm like, if it's not perfect, I'll put it out. And I think it's like to do with gain, but I'm not too sure.
So here's one thing. So there's kind of two things you could potentially do if you wanted to sort of like pop back on sometime in the future, and we can like continue this conversation however you want to go with it, right? The first is try and concoct a recording of that song or some similar animal that is like, yep, that's a sort of nice version of like the Tom Syco sound. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and maybe you can hear, keyboard sounds and stuff like that. But a recording of it that doesn't make you grimace, right?
Yeah.
In other words, I know you're a perfectionist, but like, yeah, it's not terrible. Great. That would be step one. Or another version of that, which could be equally valuable, is I'm going to do a set of like Tom Syco, like whatever you call it. I don't want to put words on it because it's your thing, and I don't want to like overly, but like there's that thing where maybe you do 5 or 6 songs that are put together in series, where it's a moment. It just happens to be like a 35-40 minute moment where it's like, fuck, like that was mesmerizing for 40 straight minutes, and it was this song into this song and this song. Maybe there's a theme, maybe there's a whatever. In that case, it's not a recording, it's a live stream, which is different.
It's true.
And let me throw something else out there. I mean, part of what I'm doing in my sort of role is looking at a lot of different ways live streaming is behaving right now. So there's YouNow, there's Twitch, there's paid, ticketed platforms.
Yeah.
As well. We had Dan Mangan on. I don't know if you were on for that Watch Live interview, but Dan came on about two months ago and talked about Side Door, which is a really cool paid ticketed model.
Okay.
So like the YouNow thing, I'm obviously 100% behind what YouNow does, and you could make this just a YouNow concert, and you could do it in that way. But also from a standpoint of like, okay, how do we make this into like a viable career, right?
Yeah.
So YouNow has its own thing, and you could certainly make a viable career on YouNow 100% exclusively. But I also think it would be interesting for you to experiment with, like, what if I did a 40-minute set and charged $10 a ticket and did it on blah?
Yeah.
Because mentally you would approach it differently than like, I'm going to go on YouNow on Saturday and I'm going to really put 40 minutes down. That's good, but it's a little different when you know you're charging and people are going and everybody, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Do you know what it is as well? And this sounds so like stupid, but I also have like this really just mental block. Like I don't ever want people to like pay for my music. Do you know what I mean? As in, I totally get it though. Obviously, if it's your career, then awesome. But I feel like because it's just a hobby of mine, I'm like, why should I charge people? Do you know what I mean? Like on the internet. I
Then
feel
why
like
don't you use that as a kind of advantage and just stay on YouNow, but do 40-minute sets that inspire people and get them to tell their friends, and you'll make what you make, and it doesn't matter to you anyway. So whether they give you props or they give you whatever, like, I guess what I'm saying is, if you can have a sort of performance that you approach a little more professionally and say, this is going to be a 40-minute set. Love you guys. This is what it's going to be about. It's going to be Saturday. It's going to be from blah to blah. Yeah. And you make it a little more of a thing.
Definitely.
And then you don't have to charge anything.
I think, 100%. I think, I do want to obviously go into music more as like if it could become more of a career, that would be epic. I feel like, if I started to actually, I feel like if I made some stuff that I was like comfortable selling, then I would 100% do that. Yeah. I mean,
well, so here's the thing. Cool. I would say, strategically speaking, that if you've been streaming for 3 years and that's your sweet spot, and you have all these people that love you. Sorry guys, I haven't even been following this because I've just been trying to be present with Tom for the last 15. So sorry if I've just kind of been like, I can't right now, because I can't do both. I can't be hyper present with what you're talking about and keep up with everybody. I'm sorry. Maybe one day. But I think if you take what you're doing and keep it on YouNow, for lack of a better term. Don't worry about recording your music as the sort of main thing, because, I mean, you can do it and you can experiment, but you don't have to feel like that's some sort of graduation where, like, once it's recorded, I can sell it. Dude, now you're competing with literally millions of other people who are trying to put some little recording together and then sell it and stream it in some way. It's really sort of a race with a lot of people that are already there. Whereas relatively few people know how to stream well. And relatively few people have a sound. You have a sound. So if you stay in the streaming thing and you carve out a sound and have a set, even if it's like once a month, on every fourth Saturday, Tom's going to do another set, and it's going to be the sound that people know from Tom. Like, it doesn't have to sound exactly the same, but like, it's not going to be a hip hop song followed by a ballad followed by a banger. It's going to be like that pocket that we've talked around. Yeah. And you make that a thing, and you make it a regular thing. Maybe it's every Saturday, maybe it's every fourth Saturday. And you make those concerts, dude, we'll go, and like that, I think, to me, is the most natural place to go, because all these things in your head about, well, this won't work, or I'm not sure about this, or I've got my day job and all this stuff that's pulling at you, it's totally fine. You can still do a 6-song set every fourth Saturday with all of that stuff still banging around and all that stuff still happening. Yeah, that's a really cool idea, actually. Yeah, just kind of like more of like a structured thing every now and then. Keep it like definitely. And when you think you could do it once a month? Probably, yeah. I could probably do that. Yeah, maybe like one weekend a month or something. Yeah, that could be really cool. So do you want to? So what? So today is the 26th. So you think you could pull it together in a month? As in what? Like a recorded set of songs? No, not a recorded thing. Like, so we have the 2nd. Okay, wait. Today's 26th. So the Saturday would be the 29th of August, right? So the 5th, 12th, 19th, 26th. Do you think by the 26th of September, you could do a 6-song set similar to the stuff we just did today? What, on you just now? Yeah. I mean, I feel like I do that already in a way. You know what I mean? Like, okay. As in, I do like the random other stuff, but we'll have like, there'll be like I don't know, like an hour or 2 hours where we're just in like deep sort of that love song vibe. And then we'll do that for a bit. I just sort of go with the flow of the chat. Like, someone might say something sad, and then it will like change the mood. I can't really explain it. And then we'll go into that completely sad stuff. And then it might get a bit hype.
then we start creating like loop pedal hype beats, or like do some beatboxing and loop it and rap or whatever. So it's more random. But the whole, the doing like a set, that's cool, because that's like more professional, and I like that, and that's definitely something I could put together. I think I would like to record. Go on.
I want to ask now, because and again, I'm truly sincerely sorry that you guys are like hanging out here, and I'm not keeping up. So let me pass the mic over to your fans and your friends a little bit. What do you guys? I guess the question I have in my mind is this thing you just described, where you sometimes come on for an hour or two, and you do a sort of a live stream version of a set.
Yeah.
Right. Do you? Those of you that are on here right now, is that something that you especially like? Is that something that you're kind of like, oh, that's my favorite thing that Tom does? Or do you like the whole variety of things?
I'm intrigued, actually, because I actually don't have a clue.
Right?
I don't know why they watch me, honestly. Do you know what it is as well?
In other words, do you guys like that? Because my other thought is that, yeah, you can do a set, right? And it'll be more of a professional version of the sort of like how a lot of other artists do it. But yeah. So Kiki, I'm seeing you ask a number of questions about Side Door, and they're good questions and they're good comments.
Yeah,
I do like the sets. It's annoying when someone tries to guest and just ruins the whole flow, and the set just ends.
That happens quite regularly. So, Danny, yeah, that does sometimes happen. And yeah, if we're singing songs, everyone's having a good time, and then someone will be like, guest me. Especially if it's someone I know, I feel bad saying no, and then it just kills the vibe. 100% happens a lot.
So maybe we just stumbled on two insights. One is everybody loves. Well, you can say no, but there's also that sort of, but that's my boy, or that's that's my friend, and it becomes this sort of like, right? So number one, what your friends are telling you is, that's one thing that breaks the vibe, and everyone seems to be sort of agreeing. So it's kind of like, okay, is there a way for us to do this so that you don't have guests who we love somehow breaking the vibe of that moment and for that concert? So if you define it as a sort of, this is going to be a set, it's going to be a live stream thing, I'm going to be able to interact with you guys, but the subtext is no guesting.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That way you're not put on the spot like, hey bro, like blah 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 blah. Okay, you want to come?
That's the most awkward thing when you're like, oh yeah, cool.
So defend yourself from it and be like, yo, like absolutely next week or tomorrow when we have blah 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 blah. But that way, it allows you to sort of it's almost like a hybrid between what you're doing with the live streaming thing you're naturally doing that people like, and you're sort of saying, look, no guesting, and it's going to be I don't know. Maybe it doesn't have to be limited to 40 minutes or an hour or whatever. Maybe it's that sort of 90 minutes to 2 hours long form live stream version of a set. With a vibe and a feel and a thing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And especially if you do it, like how often do you do those kinds of sets? Is it every once in a while? Is it once a week? Is it once a month?
I usually do, so Mondays and Wednesdays are normally just that kind of thing. Yeah, music purely. Saturday mornings, sometimes I'll wake up early and I'll hit like a different time zone on Saturday mornings. But yeah,
what's
Monday
the best time if you were going to do a concert? Probably on Monday or Wednesday. Yeah,
because that's like the time I normally go live, and people that watch me regularly kind of know when I'm live, so that's cool. I definitely think having a schedule is ideal. I never used to have one because I thought to myself, I don't want to like make it a sort of thing I have to do. But since I've made the schedule, it's been so much better because I just know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? There's no sort of like thinking about, should I go live? Should I not? So yeah. But yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say, like, maybe it's just it's a matter of maybe having a dedicated day where everybody kind of knows, like, oh, this is Wednesdays. It's going to be like the 2-hour set thing, and like guests aren't going to be popping on, and it's a sort of a thing for you two, and then also for your friends that are popping on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I definitely think. I mean, the people there have my back, like loads of the time. Like Danny just said, I'll be like mid song say, and someone will be like, "Yo, can I guest?" And Danny would just be like, "Yo, he's not guesting today." So like, they make it quite easy for me, so I appreciate them for
Right.
that. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna start just putting stuff out there more, just on other platforms like Instagram, YouTube. Like it's something I've always wanted to do, and I just don't because of that whole I put myself in the box. And
Yeah.
you've inspired me to like to just change that mindset, you know. And
Right on.
I'm going to, you know, I'm going to. I think it's just having confidence. I've never had confidence ever with not with people, but more of just like when it comes to like art stuff, like performance and stuff. I genuinely just don't think I'm good, and I know people say that to be humble or whatever, but I genuinely just think I'm like bog standard average. So like when people say to me, "Oh, you're really good," like I almost don't believe them, and that's such a
Sure.
bad mindset. But
That's okay. I mean, the example that I always tell people is, Sia is petrified of being on stage, and
yeah,
that's one of the reasons that she doesn't. So she's someone who I think most people can agree is a very talented writer and a very
yeah,
talented vocalist, and she may never get to the point where she's like, I'm kind of a badass. That's okay. She can still do what she does. The point I'm making is
true.
you don't have to like convince yourself that you're amazing in order to sound great, because you already do, right? So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't have to work. In other words, Frank Sinatra, had this quote where he was like, if you don't have butterflies before you get on stage, you might as well hang up your, like hang up your hat. In other words, the best, most accomplished artists, Adele, I think someone had mentioned,
yeah,
are like they're self-critical, and that's okay. Like that's totally fine. But you can still keep going, is what I'm saying. You don't have to worry about like that part of it. But
yeah,
dude, I mean, again, I love what you're doing. You have a lot of people that believe in you, and I think whatever you move into is going to probably be the right next step. But I just think something like that, that is a little bit maybe more of an organized way, even if it's just by 1 degree. Like, okay, no guests, and it's on Wednesdays, and it's from blah to blah, and it's a little more formatted. Even if you're picking
mm.
songs at random or you're doing things off a theme, there's something that's a little more tied together with it.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
can have, I guess the word that's popping into my mind is you can have more control.
yeah,
In other words, creative control over like, I want this to feel and sound like this. The audience is great, but when you have a bit more control over what it feels like and what it sounds like and the vibe of it and the lyrics and the song selection that you have, that's what artists do.
yeah.
They make choices, and they're like, this is going to be this, and some
Hmm.
people are going to love it, some people are going to be meh, and some people are going to hate it,
Yeah,
right? But
definitely,
this is what it is tonight, right?
definitely, yeah,
I think
definitely.
that's a good one. I wanted to chime in a little bit on Kiki's mentions about Side Door. So Side Door is just one of many, 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 many paid ticketed platforms. I happen to like Side Door for a couple of reasons. Side Door
Hmm.
to me is almost a ticketed platform version of YouNow, in the sense that they they're very invested in their creative community. They have a real culture, and they know what they're talking about, and they kind of like, it's not good luck, go
Yeah, yeah,
do the stream and whatever you guys want to do and whatever you want to charge, and like if you make a little money,
yeah,
great. If not, well, they're not like that. So I feel like they're very artist centric, and it's a good place if you wanted to try that model.
yeah,
I feel
definitely.
like if this is what you're comfortable with and you don't necessarily want to charge for it, that's okay.
I mean,
um
I'm more of, yo, I would happily charge people to listen to my music if like more. It's not even like a moral thing. I just think because obviously, like people you go to concerts all the time. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like you pay to go see.
totally.
Like it's not like a out of this world thing, but it's I think it's the YouNow model, as in I see. So just like those in the chat now, for example, who
Yeah,
have like like they like watch me every day. I don't want to charge them money. Do you know what I mean? It's like I see them more as friends in
yeah,
terms of if it was just random people I didn't know who they were, I wouldn't have an issue charging them to listen to me play music. If they wanted to if they wanted to do that, I'd be like, hell yeah, that'd be awesome. But
Well,
yeah,
here's the problem. Here's the problem with that perspective. The people in this chat are the ones that are most willing to spend money on you. And I don't really know any of them personally, but I could still probably guess that these people, right, would be willing to spend $10.
I wouldn't let them.
But so that's your choice, right? I'm not trying to say like you should ask these people to, but that's the interesting dynamic that you're sort of caught in, is these are the people that want to support you.
Yeah.
And if you say, hey, so here's one way of hacking that potentially, and then I want to let you have, because it is a school night, so I don't know what you have going on tomorrow, but I know it's getting late. But
boring meetings.
one potential hack to that is, again, if you look at a concert, this sort of set or this sort of 2-hour thing, or one, if you define it a little more and you put a little more into it as a thing, as opposed to like, you could probably walk on half asleep and do a stream right now on music because you've done it for 3 years, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's great. And you can do this day in, day out, and it's easy. And there's a sort of standard that you could come through with every single day of the week, right? If you take something and say, that's great, I'm gonna see if I can get it just up to here for this concert on this Wednesday at blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
The fact that in your heart, it's a little more special and you put more into that, and you really, it might make you, whether you charge anybody or not is not the issue. You'll value it more and realize this is a little bit more of an expression of mine than the normal even.
Yeah.
And then people feel that and they're like, oh shit, that was interesting. That was like an extra blah, 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 blah. And then that becomes a thing you can do. And then once you do it on YouNow, you don't ever have to charge anybody here in any particular way. But once you do that enough regularly as a special thing, then now you know how to do that, and you can take that over to Side Door and say, hey, for those of you that want to pop over and on Side Door, I'm doing this on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
2 weeks from
it's like optional
whatever.
Sort of thing, yeah.
But it's you getting used to a little bit more of a would be the word,
like pushing out
deliberate, a deliberate, like, this is a thing. It's a set, whatever.
It's not like some random thing. It's like an actual thing. I get what you mean.
Yeah. And so again, what I'm trying to do is come up with a bit of a hack where all you're doing is just putting a little extra energy and creativity into it. So you value it more. So then other people value it more. And then if you do that a handful of times, that thing becomes the thing you could sell in a more of a public space. And you won't have that reserve about, well, it's just me and my music, and what you'll respect it more because you put more into it.
Yeah, I get
than
that.
you would normally, right? So it's just sort of like, plus everybody else wins because we get like a more, it's even more Tom than normal. You know what I mean? It's something that you're able to do a little bit more like deliberately. So look, again, if this is something you want to chat on further, like we could totally, like in the next couple of weeks, whatever, we could come up with songs, we could come up with a theme, we could just chat on this. You could just do it and tell us, and we'll show up and bring our fans. Like anything that you think is something that you want to act on this, the ball's totally in your court. But like everybody in this room, myself included, wants you to do more.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. No, I love that. I genuinely, it's like so humbling that people even want to listen to me. Do you know what I mean? It still blows my mind, to be honest, that anyone wants to even watch my stream. So it's like, yeah, I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you guys watching, like literally pretty much every day. It's insane. So yeah.
You got a lot of people that just like,
that's the thing. I have all these like kind of visions and dreams of like where I'd like to get to. It's definitely on my radar. But yeah, I will get there. It's the thing. I will get there. I just don't know how long it will take me. But
yeah, for sure.
I feel like I'm on a slow trajectory. But yeah.
No, you're doing great. And again, this is just us all kind of like appreciating what you're doing. And so like anything we can do to help, bro. If you ever want to come on again, if you want to chat more, even if it's just like Discord or something like that or whatever, like
Oh, let me join
super
your
love
Discord.
what you're, do you, what did you say?
I'm going to join your Discord right now. I just saw your link.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Kiki.
Brilliant.
Here's one thing, Tom. You
Yeah.
say this isn't something worth paying for, but you invest in your setup is more professional than the professionals, right?
I mean, that is true. Yeah, I've spent a bit of money on this, so that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the benefit of being a partner. You do earn a little bit of income, which is really nice.
Yep.
So that kind of offsets most of that. And yeah, but no, I get that 100%. I feel like I'm slowly investing, and yeah, I feel like there's going to be this moment where I'm just like, just bite the bullet, you know, I'm just going to do this stuff. So yeah,
Well, look, I also want to just say thank you guys that have been with Tom since the beginning.
legend.
Obviously, many of you literally like over the years. I mean, I can tell that's a big reason why you're still doing it and you still like it. And it's
100%. That's the only
that's it.
reason.
That's another thing that's super cool about YouNow in particular is like when you get to know artists, you get to know their fans. If I
Yeah.
go to a concert, I don't necessarily get to know so and so's fans that night or their
Yeah, I get what you
friends,
mean.
supporters. But like all of a sudden, I'm like vibing on like the people that love on your music every day and have loved on your music for 3 years or whatever. It's like, so
And the
I'm
amazing
getting to
thing is,
know.
as
Go
well,
ahead.
like they all become friends with each other as well. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's like you're at a concert becoming
yeah,
mates with the guy standing next to
completely,
you. Yeah, that's
completely.
cool. I like that.
I love it, man. So listen, I want to let you get some sleep.
Bro, this has
You
been
guys
brilliant.
are all great, and I appreciate you hanging with us. And I hope that wasn't too like, I don't know.
No, no, man.
Um,
I literally I appreciate it so much because like I've never done an interview in my life like this. Do you know what I mean? Like never. So
okay,
this is really cool. And I love what you're doing, and
cool, man. Thank
I'm
you.
really happy you're on you now
Likewise,
because like I feel like you have this like outside knowledge of stuff. You know what I mean? Like I have no clue what's going on with music outside of this room. Do you know what I mean? So like
for
you bring
sure.
that element, and I yeah I don't I you giving me confidence. Let me tell you that.
Good.
Like I
That makes my day. Like that made the 90 minutes on here. Just you saying that. Like I'm glad to hear that.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
for sure, for sure, for sure. And I love your people, man. Like I, I love you guys. I appreciate you being here, but mostly I appreciate you being part of Tom's camp and keep doing what you're doing. Um, push him however you guys need to, and
They
make
always
sure
do.
that, yeah,
They're
I know
always
they do.
like, fucking do something. And I'm like, all right, I'll get around to it. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. They're the most amazing people.
But just remember, I'm like, I'm in the corner there whenever you guys, if there's anything I can help you with, if you guys have shows, you have my email. So if you want to let us know, or put it in our Discord or whatever, let us know what you have that's going on, and we'll definitely show up and bring our peoples.
Last question. Danny just asked
Yeah.
you, can we get a bit of background at what your typical streams are like and your content? How often do you do interviews, etc.?
So this week is a little more than normal. Normally, our interviews are just, of course, Monica. Thank you. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, man. That makes my day too. Thank you, Prawn. What's Prawn's name again?
Asha. Asha.
Asha. Okay, I don't know if that was one that you told me or not. Kiki, help me. What's my Discord? I literally don't. We have one.
I got
I
it.
just.
Boom, there it is. Yo, look at me. I'm a mod, baby. I'm quick with that.
Dude, killer.
Yeah.
So our, let's see, where do I start? So our streams typically are 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Sorry, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays and Fridays. That's our sort of like sweet spot hour. And we usually just have one, maybe two streams on Wednesday and Friday. I know, I miss Tori too. She's working. She's doing her day job thing right now. So those are our sort of main days. The theme of this overall is like what's going on in music that music creators can use to be more successful, right? So some of it's live streaming, some of it's just like if you wanted to do a production session with someone in Los Angeles, how would you do that?
That would
what
be
kind
amazing.
of software? Right. So we had Session Wire on a couple of months ago that was talking about something that they do for that. So anyway, so we basically do these kinds of interviews with artists. We also do stuff with people that are working with different technologies, company owners, live stream experts. We're probably going to be bringing on more managers because I feel like we're getting a lot of interest for people to like connect with managers. But basically, like, how can we help musicians and the music community be more successful? So that's kind of what we do.
You're sort of bridging the gap between this space and the real world space. I love it.
Totally. You said it better than I do. So, dude, I'm going to let you get some sleep. Thank you for your music.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Love your crew, and we're here anytime we can help.
Much love, man.
See you soon, man. Get some sleep.
Thank you. I'll catch you soon, bro. I'll speak soon. Tori as well. Thank you. See ya.
Absolutely. I'll say hi for her. Thanks, Tom. Man, you guys are so cool. Like, I can just feel where he's coming from by you guys being in the room. Appreciate you guys sort of rolling with that. That was a little nice to meet you guys as well. Thank you. That was not our average. So most of these interviews, thanks, Kiki. Most of these interviews are a little more pragmatic. Hey, what are you doing as a live streamer that other people can learn from and stuff like that? And we did get some of that for sure. But I guess I was just moved by listening to his music and listening to some of the things he was saying. And I'm like, yo, this guy sort of put himself in a box and I don't like that. So, you know, also props to Tom for like going there with me a little bit. And because it's not always something that people are comfortable with to just sort of be like, yo, like, you know, what if you did this? And have you ever thought about blah, 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 blah. So thank you for going there with me, all you guys, and especially Tom. So yeah, I would say about 20% of our interviews end up being like this. We did one, Kiki, you're making me laugh, man. Vulnerable men are real men. True. We did one of these that was similar. If you liked this, you can go. So on our YouNow page is a link to our YouTube page where you can see. Yeah, we do go there a lot. Good. And you go there with him a lot. I'm so glad. So again, you guys are probably used to this. This is my first time sitting down with Tom and being like, why don't you just go, you know, fucking go kick ass? And he's like, we did something kind of similar with 7,000 Apart. And you can see that on our YouTube channel. And it was pretty awesome. Because again, it was largely because they were willing to sort of go there and talk about stuff. And I think it was very, it was just a very meaningful conversation, kind of like this one, and blah, 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 blah. So I think that's one that you guys could check out and sort of see. That's the kind of, almost like an A&R type interview that we do sometimes when artists seem like they're willing and interesting to go there. So we like to do those. I'm glad, Chris. Thank you. Appreciate it. And incidentally, it's not just about you guys giving me props and like, thank you very much for the telling me that you've enjoyed it and telling me that this is something you guys talk about. And thanks so much. Really appreciate it, Monica. Right on. Thank you. It's great to hear those things. And I appreciate it personally and all that. It also is helpful for us to know what's interesting to do on these things for you guys, right? So if I'm seeing that over and over and over, oh, this is cool, I like this, then Tori and I, by the way, thank you, Riz. I haven't seen you in forever, dude. It's good to see you, bro. Yeah, right. Tori and I sit down after every single stream that we do, pretty much. And we're like, what was great about that? And what do we want to do more of and stuff like that. So when I see you guys saying, oh, this is cool, then we'll do more of these. So it helps me to be able to do things that are interesting for you guys because we could take this in a lot of different conversations. Are there any artists on here you're trying to reach to communicate with? That's a good question. Yes, I'll definitely let you guys know. I appreciate it. I feel like we've done so many in August. Right on, Riz. Nah, it's totally fine. I know you've been busy. I know there are, and so let me put that back on you guys. Let me sort of do something that I'm gonna flip it and say, if you guys have people, you get a vibe on what this is. Like, it's pretty transparent. This is kind of what we do. Sometimes it gets a little technical or a little more like, you know, hey, Keith Peluso, how's your setup working now? How does this work? What are you using? The ones earlier today. But for these kinds of things, if there are people that you think would be good for this, then you tell us. Awesome. Then you can totally drop something in Discord. Maybe that's the easiest way to do it, or you can let us know and we'll, you know, I feel like people can connect pretty easily on YouNow, however that happens organically. So if you have people that you think would be good for this in whatever way, if it's good for them, it's good for their, you know, community, an interesting conversation to have, whatever, I'm open to it. So if you guys have people that you recommend, like, we're all ears. We have, you know, I mean, there's definitely people that I think are interesting, but I also feel like part of the nature of how YouNow works is it's almost like, I don't know how to put it in words, but you have like the person that's the creator or the artist, but then you have their crew, and sometimes the crew is the people that you want to speak to and hear from. You say, what do you guys think about so and so, or what do you guys think about this person that you really like? Right. So you guys are absolutely welcome to send us some suggestions to answer. Tori, that's the Grand Register comes in handy. Yeah, for sure. I think that's very useful, right? I also like when things happen through people or through communities or through some push within the world of YouNow, where it's like, yo, you guys need to get Tom on. That's a more, I don't know if democratic's the right word, but like, that's a little more like, oh, interesting. Like, multiple people are like, so Tori and I love like, hey, you should hear, hey, you should check out blah, blah, blah. When we hear that 2 or 3 times in a row, that's something that we're like, yeah, we should check out so-and-so. So love to hear it from you guys as well. And again, this is what you can sort of expect from other fans, from other interviews that we have with other artists, right? Jay Daly, totally all about it. And we're actually in contact with Jeremiah. So he's definitely someone we'd love to have on very, very soon. For sure. So I've got a little bit of stuff that I have to do for my work, and then we got another one of these in half an hour with Sanji. If you guys are not hip to Sanji, holy fuck. Brent, completely. Also someone we'd love to have on. Holy fuck, that guy is so fucking good. So he's coming on in half an hour, and we're going to do the same kind of thing, but it'll be maybe a little more open-ended. But so come on for the Sanji hour in half. I got to get some shit done, and we'll be back super soon. Thank you guys for being on here. I'd love to see you in half an hour. Thank you for everything and for your vibes. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Let's just see. Just want to like say hi and say bye to everybody. So Danny, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Prawn, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Tom, get some sleep. Love you, man. The Dr. Sauce, thank you very much. Icy, thank you for the love. Riz, great to see you again. Thank you for the love. Cujo, thank you for popping in. Dude, Kiki, thank you for modding that shit up today. Thomas, thank you very much for the likes. Appreciate it. Donnie, love you as always. Emma, didn't see you sneaking in there. Good to see you. Hope everything is fantastic. And Monica, dude, that was amazing. You were like such a big part of that stream. Great to meet you. Love to find out more about you and all that kind of good stuff. See you guys soon. 27 minutes. Peace.